the ideal thing, but we still see people using the other one all the time, which is kind of. And now I do hear an echo from the RIT sec time, but we're going to move on to B. Tenji, could you mute the RIT sec microphone? Thanks. All right, so B is for bullshit. I'm still hearing that, so I just muted my computer. So if you need anything, I guess send it on Discord. But B is for bullshit. That's right. I don't know if anyone called me out or was whispering in the room, but some of the things I just said to you were in fact lies. I'm a big prankster, so I showed up here telling you I was going to do the ABCs of security. But that's not what this is at all. This is a ShmooCon talk, actually. So first of all, to correct myself, the ASA protocol for IKE is not a VPN tunneling protocol. It's actually must be used with IPsec. So that is something that I lied about earlier. And second of all, IKE version 2 does not have aggressive mode. Aggressive mode is super insecure, but because it was the faster way of doing things, people used it way more. It used a 3-way handshake instead of a 6-way handshake that the main mode used. And it implements the VPN sending the hash pre-shared keys to the client in a single unencrypted message, so people would get the pre-shared keys and then be able to access the VPNs. Big no-no, not really used in IKE-v2 at all. It's not even an option because too many people were picking. So I cannot interact with you guys. I guess I can open up Twitch. No, I can't interact with you guys, but I hope some of you like called that out. Or if you didn't, I hope you research it. But the point of it is really like, why did I lie to you? Why am I doing this? This is silly, right? Wasting time. But so what I'm here to talk about today is ShmooCon. ShmooCon was founded based on the belief that no one should be able to go up in front of an audience such as DEF CON and say a bunch of crap just because there's someone who matters in the security industry. The founder, Bruce Potters, went to DEF CON and heard this sort of thing happening. Someone who had clout would go to DEF CON and start saying stuff and no one would call him out. And so Bruce went up and he started to shout a bunch of random crap. He said, "Bow to my firewall." You see that and a bunch of other things like that were just lies. But since he had a reputation, no one called him. And so they wanted to create a conference that was safe for calling people out. Because a lot of times, DEF CON specifically, there's heckling, and that's like a known thing, but it's not always constructive. So at ShmooCon, they started doing shmoo balls. They gave out little squishy balls. One year they weren't squishy, that was bad. And every year they give them out according to the theme. And if you don't agree with something, you're able to throw the little ball up and respectfully ask your question instead of shouting like, "Hey, you're wrong." So yeah, that's kind of why ShmooCon was founded. And it's something that as a organization that RITSec is, as you go up and you present to one another, it's important to pay attention to what people are saying and fact check them as they do. I know most people sit on their laptops throughout RITSec, at least they did with me, but feel free to look things up while you're doing that. Like sometimes you just might need a distraction, so you type as you go, but try and be as engaged with the presentations as possible. It's a two-way street. It's important to have your attendees speaking with you and challenging you and furthering the discussion on what your topic is. So that's kind of ShmooCon. It's pretty awesome, as you can tell, if they are letting people throw things at each other. It's kind of a fun time. But it's important to always be awesome to one another, to be respectful throughout this process, and to understand that the culture is supportive and does not tolerate any toxicity. So Similar to RIT stuff, you gotta be on your best behavior and be very nice to everyone. Some other things you should know about ShmooCon and why I love it and why I'm here just to tell you all about it is that it's in Washington, D.C. It is Martin Luther King Day weekend, so you should have that Monday off. And it's a really fun time that you should go to. You can buy tickets starting November 14th at noon, I think. And it's really hard to buy tickets. Everyone sits around on their computer. I recommend you tell your families to join in on this so that you can get tickets. You hit refresh, refresh, refresh. And then within 3 seconds, you don't get a ticket usually, or you get 2 tickets. You have to complete a puzzle in order to get to the tickets to avoid bots. So the smarter people tend to get in. And then once the tickets are bought, they all go into a pool within RIT Seg. And I believe Enzo has the very fun job of coordinating everyone throughout RIT Seg, making sure we sell tickets to each other before giving it out to alumni, such as myself, if you want to hit me up, or any other person. But your tickets will be bought from you. They're $175 each, so you do have to front that money when you buy it. But the money will come back to you one way or another. ShmooCon has said that they will buy it back from you themselves so that you can sell it to someone else. So you'll always have that option. And affording this. So if you have not stalked me on the internet, then you may not know that I gave a talk. That was how I went to a $12,000 conference for free. It's something I did pretty often during school. It's a big thing that you guys should do if you are in school and want to travel and meet people and network and learn. Then you should be figuring out ways to afford conferences. And the best way to do this is scholarships. Almost every single conference that we have in this industry has a student scholarship. You have 4 years to go to as many as possible. ShmooCon in particular is very good about this because not only do they give you a ticket, they also give you $200 cash as a travel stipend. That usually covers the cost of plane or any sort of travel. If you drive down with friends, that's pretty cheap too. And then room-wise, I suggest you make friends with someone in SFS or honors very quickly. SFS has a pool of money that they can use for this sort of thing, and honors has about $1,000 that they can use on one conference per year. So make some friends and get everyone in a room, and if not, and sleep on the floor like I did my freshman year. It's very fun. Other than that, talks. So similar to RIT classes, the talks at ShmooCon have a similar sort of hype or stigma rather, where people say, oh, you don't need to go to those because they're all online. Oh, you don't need to go to class. It's like it's easy. No, that's not true. First of all, you should go to class and you should learn more. That's something I beat myself up about every day, is being like flying through a lot of my RIT class because I could, but not actually learning the stuff in depth. The talks at ShmooCon, though, they are all online, although they do go up a couple months late because ShmooCon themselves does not put them up, so the third party does. It takes a while, but they're really, really good talks. So I suggest going to them, especially the fire talks. I gave the fire talk last year. It was a lot of fun. I actually won some money doing it. So if you want to come out of ShmooCon net positive, submit as fire talk and win that competition, and then that's what you can do. It's pretty easy. And then alumni event. So I don't think there's an official alumni event going on this year for ShmooCon, although there is still time to organize one, Enzo. But I set up an alumni event when I was president with the organizers of SMARSA, our alumni association. And even if there isn't an official night where we hang out and, you know, have drinks and chat, the entire ShmooCon event is a lot like an alumni event because most of the people there are from RIT. If you're not aware yet, a lot of RIT alumni moved to the Washington, D.C. area. That is where ShmooCon is held. So everyone comes out and hangs out with their old buddies. So that's what I'll do. And it's a good time. In fact, it's a party. So much of a party that ShmooCon just started throwing the party. At the end of the conference the night before, they clear out one of the entire speaker rooms. It's a ballroom, and they throw a party. They got a DJ. Her name's Sec Barbie. Cool stuff there, and they give you free drinks if you are of age. It's a fun time. But don't be stupid. So I won't tell my like really fun shmoocon story right now because I'm on stream and I don't want to get like canceled or anything. But the party's great, but make sure you have an understanding that everyone that you go to college with and everyone that you see at a conference is a potential coworker and is someone that could potentially have a lot of influence on your career. So, it's okay to make mistakes. I was once a freshman vomiting in the bathroom for a very long time, but try not to. Try not to be that kid. And try and take this opportunity to be really mature and network with some of the most awesome people this industry has to offer. I've seen people get offers on the dance floor of ShmooCon, and there's a lot of smart people that are around, so try to behave yourself accordingly. Other than that, be safe. Always have a buddy Uber up the block if you're staying a couple blocks away. Have fun, enjoy college, enjoy Rochester. I really love Rochester. I miss it. I've started school hating it, but then, during the fall, it's really beautiful. So go to Letchworth, enjoy college, enjoy life. Any questions? Yes.
Thank you, Shannon, for an amazing presentation. Kind of like to open it up to a little Q&A session, if that's okay.
Yeah.
So anybody in the audience, do you guys have any questions for Shannon? And now there's silence in the room.
Guys, I'm scary, I get it. I'm huge, and for those who haven't met me, I'm like massive and very intimidating.
Yes, Kyle.
The Schmooze student seems to list at getting a teacher to write you an essay. What was that process for you?
Okay, Shannon, so the question was, for Schmooze student application, there's a section where you need a letter from a CSEC professor. How was that process for you as an undergraduate student?
That process was really good. Most of the professors are fully aware of what ShmooCon is, and they really want to help. I've even had Megan Fritz write mine, although I don't recommend her be the first person you ask, but most of them know about it and want you to have the opportunity to go.
Awesome. And Shannon, if you can kind of talk about your RITSEC experience as a whole a little bit, kind of like, what you did in RITSEC 2. I don't think a lot of members here today in this meeting room know about your legacy, so if you can kind of talk about that a little bit.
Oh, here I was thinking I had some reputation. Oh my god, the whole talk was a mess. Some of the things that I did with RITSEC, I'll rant for a moment. So I started at RITSEC as a freshman back when it was RC3. I went every week. I took notes on every single presentation that was given. I sat there and took notes. I had no idea what anything was the whole time. I came into college not knowing how to code, thinking that a hackathon was sitting down to hack ISIS with your friends, when in general, that is not it. So I came in with very little experience, but I became treasurer of RC3 when it was the second semester of my freshman year. So I joined eBoard pretty early, which is great because I had a lot of experience throughout my time there that made me experienced enough to be president and understand every single role of eBoard by the time I was ready to do that. So as president of RITSEC my junior year, I knew by sophomore year I really wanted to do that. I felt like I was really called to it, and it was a good time. I spent a lot of time building up RIT-Sec to have a lot more structure. And now I think that it would be a good time to stop like building RIT-Sec and more improve what we already have. That's kind of my opinion on things and how it goes, and something that I wish I could do like right now. 'Cause it's a lot of fun to be a part of the organization. But I started Career Fair Eve, WESIS was a big deal for me. Pushing conferences was a big deal for me. But for the most part, overall, I saw RIT-Sec as, you know, a community that I could learn from and be friends with, but also as a really big stepping stone in my career. I think it pushed me further than anything else did, especially with classes and stuff like that. But it really makes you better than the rest of the people in the industry, because most people who are majoring in security or in computer science, they don't have this sort of group. They don't have this sort of like research background that we get at RIT. So I think it really set me up for my role in the industry. So that's quite a rant and not like a list of everything that I've done, but that's too long of a list and I don't want to seem like a jerk. So.
All right, thank you so much, Shannon. And any other questions? Any other questions? All right, thank you so much, Shannon. Thank you so much for a great presentation. Another round of applause.
Bye.
All right, bye-bye.
All right, cool. Okay, and
Are we gonna do news now?
yes, I'm going to do news. All right, so give me just a quick second to transition over to news. Give me like 2 minutes.
Okay, let's get started. All right, now I'm ready. All right, let's go. All right, hello everyone. Welcome to our RIT-Sec research section. So let's get started. Interested in presenting? Make sure you sign up at presentations.ritsec.club. If you don't have an idea of what you want to present on, make sure to visit ideas.ritsec.club. That's a whole list of presentation ideas and a very great resource if you're kind of stuck but want to still present. Also want to talk about, again, the research swag. So again, as more presentations you do, you get free research swag. So you get a RIT-Sec lanyard, a flash drive, a lockpick set, Padfolio, water bottle, YubiKey, and for 20 presentations, you can get a USB rubber ducky. So please present. This is all available to you guys if you come up here and present. It's a very fun time, and you get free stuff. So really good. And a couple of announcements. Oh, I forgot to add some slides. Make sure to sign in. Join the Discord. Add the Google Calendar and the mailing list. Also, we have the RIT-Sec feedback form. So this is a completely anonymous feedback form. If you have any questions or concerns about the club, anything you'd like to kind of speak to us, but in an anonymous format. We do not collect any personal data from this. So if you have any questions or concerns, please fill out this form at feedback.ritsec.club. That was closed. And clap it up for our sponsors. And our social media. Okay, so we're going to cover 2 news topics. I don't have the other one in here. but we're going to cover critical Linux kernel bug allows remote takeover, and this new thread group that was found using proxy shell to take over Exchange servers. It's pretty fun. So first up, we got this critical Linux kernel bug that allows RCE. So a critical heap overflow security vulnerability in the transparent inter-process communication module of the Linux kernel could allow local exploitation and remote code execution, leading to full system compromise. So what TIPC is a peer-to-peer protocol used by nodes within a Linux cluster to communicate with each other in an optimized way. It enables types of messages that are used for different purposes, and it allows nodes to send cryptographic keys to each other and can be used to decrypt further communications from sending a node. So this is kind of a very critical kernel bug. However, it does have to be added by the user. However, since there's not a lot of Linux kernel bugs that are out there, this is very highly exploitable, highly vulnerable. So it is very recommended to patch this. This is it was very complicated in the way that was explained, but again, make sure to keep on updating your systems. Next up, Tortilla Wraps, pretty funny. Exchange servers and proxy shell attacks. So a newish threat actor, sometimes known as Tortilla, is launching a fresh round of proxy shell attacks on Microsoft Exchange servers. This time with the aim of inflicting vulnerable servers with variants of the Babook ransomware. So if you guys remember the Babook ransomware, it was first released in kind of the Washington, D.C. police. They kind of defaced their site and through ransomware for their site, and they were really known for that. For this new threat actor, it's been operating since July, and it's predominantly targeting U.S. victims. It's also hurling a smaller number of infections and around internationally, Brazil, Finland, Germany, Honduras, Thailand, Ukraine, and the UK. So I'd like to kind of talk about their playbook of sorts. It was very interesting, and I really like the diagram that the article posted here. So we have the initial compromise. So through proxy shell, which is a three-chain vulnerabilities that allows remote code execution and unauthenticated access to the Exchange server. So as we can see, it first implants their DLL or EXE, and then through certutil, it'll download their tortilla.exe, which is the loader that'll inject the Babook ransomware onto the devices. So kind of very nice description, courtesy of Cisco Talos team. And yeah, very, very cool stuff, but also very dangerous because it is ransomware. And yeah. And that's it. That's it for the news. Thank you so much. All right, next up, we have Women in Computing with Being a Better Ally. Clap it up for their presentation.
All right, there we go. All right. Hello. So we are from Women in Computing, the Allies Committee. Here with our talk on being a better ally. I'm Quincy Miles Jr.
And I'm Mallory Bridge.
All right, and yeah, let's just get. Yeah. Close it.
So first things first is, what is an ally? You probably already have a pretty good idea of what an ally is, but we have some points right here so that you know what makes a good ally. So the first thing is action. Allyship is a constant and committed practice, not an identity. So you can't just say, I'm an ally, and then do nothing about it. Allyship involves action, support, and solidarity with marginalized and anti-oppression moments and movements. The next is L for listening. Allies respectively listen to marginalized persons and groups. And then the next L is for learning. Allies do the research and work of learning about privilege and positionality and historical and contemporary struggles. So that's just kind of learning about the barriers that other people may face that you don't because of their identity. And historical and contemporary, you got to know where you came from to know where you're going.